Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the way we homeschool. Now, I don't know about you guys. I don't know how long you guys have been homeschooling. I don't know where your guys' journeys began and where they have taken you, but I know that our journey has been quite an experience. We are loving homeschool still. This is our 5th year, and I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about that. Here, my name is Liz and I'm a homeschooling mom. I have 2 kids. One's in kindergarten, one's in 5th grade, and my sister does school with us sometimes. It's been kind of hectic over here, but she has a 9th grader and a 4th grader. And our homeschooling journey started 5 years ago. My daughter went to a private school for kindergarten, and I realized that I wanted to homeschool her. I wanted to be with her more, and you know, just the way of the world, the way of just how everything is, I just felt, I don't know, I felt uneasy about her not being with me. So we made the switch. We started with Becca. We did a traditional teaching for the first year. I'm very happy I did that because it built my confidence. I learned a lot with it. And so our 2nd year, we continued with Becca. I really still enjoyed it, but I was starting to quickly realize different ways my daughter did well and different ways that she didn't. And you know, it became clear to me what I wanted out of our homeschool. Also, watching different channels here on YouTube was really a great help. It's kind of cool because I don't really just follow homeschooling moms that are teaching in the way that I teach. We all teach different, and I've learned a little bit, I think, from every account that I have watched, and I think that that's really beautiful about homeschooling, and you can still connect with people that aren't homeschooling the same way, but still get different ideas from them, or connect more on like a, you know, like a spiritual way, or maybe more of a teaching way, or you can connect just because you're similar with the other mom in, you know, different things that stress you out, different ways of teaching. So I think that that has really helped myself grow in as being a homeschooling mom and aunt, because I homeschool my nieces sometimes too. So today I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about eclectic homeschooling. That is the type of school that we are nowadays. For our 3rd year, we really just took off with the eclectic homeschooling style of teaching, and we really love it. So I wanted to talk to you about the pros and the cons and what it specifically is if you're not sure. I have notes. I have to write them down, or I will just go in circles. That's just the way my brain works. So it's always better for me to have something written in front of me. Okay, so if you're not sure what eclectic homeschooling is it's when you mix match a variety of homeschooling curriculums to fit the needs of your homeschool, of your kids. There's traditional teaching. You can teach by the Charlotte Mason way. You can teach, some kids are visual learners, some kids are hands-on learners. With eclectic homeschooling, it's kind of everything just bunched together. You can take a little from here, you can take a little from there, you can take a little from over there. That is what I love about it. I love traditional ways of homeschooling. I think workbook papers, I just love them. I make them, I create them for my kids to use. I think unit studies are awesome. I think watching documentaries, reading, going on field trips, you know what I mean? So I feel like pulling from each basket is really nice. I love it. So one of the really cool things about eclectic homeschooling is that you can create your own curriculum to fit your guys' liking. So it could either be things that they're interested in, strengths that they have, or just the learning style that they do better with. So I really love that. I have found that that has been such a lifesaver. So you have the choice of choosing your own curriculum, right? Say you find a curriculum that you really like. For my case, it was Becca. We really loved Becca, but there were specific subjects that I just didn't want to do with Becca anymore. So we kept language and we kept Bible, and those work really well. We went from video-led Bible to now parent-led Bible. Oh my gosh. To now parent-led Bible. And that is working even better for us because then I'm involved with teaching about the Bible with my kids. And I really love that. I love that I, built that foundation with the teacher kind of explaining things when she was younger. And I'm finding that I'm doing that with my kindergartner now, my son, and that's working really well. He's learning really well. But when she went into second grade, it was either second I started to kind of add things in, but she was still doing her video led, but I was doing stuff on the side with her. But third grade is really where I specifically took off and started doing parent led. And that has been so amazing. So we're still using language through Abeka. I love that the teacher can teach my daughter the specifics that come along with language. And I love that we use their curriculum for Bible, but I can actually teach it. So it's kind of like you're taking best of both worlds, I guess, for us in our case. We also, with the language through them, we also have the option to do reading, writing, which is penmanship, and spelling. She does spelling with them. Reading and writing, I've changed. She just reads whatever book, she chooses, and we do book reports with them. I ask her questions sometimes, or I have her fill out like a little book review where she has to write like a plot and the setting and the characters, something like that. And then writing, we just do writing prompts. So I make up my own writing prompts for her and she does those. And that has really been working for us. And that's the cool thing with Eclectic is you can literally pull in like whatever you want. For science, I'm now doing unit studies and we're doing our own science this year with natural disasters and weather, and we're going to be doing human body. And it's cool because I can literally choose what I want us to do. I could pick our books out. I do our workbooks. It gives me the freedom, to choose for them what I think works best. Same thing with history. We do NOTGRASS. We follow their curriculum, but I add in unit studies or book studies with worksheets, and we do different things to include into our history. So it's kind of cool to just kind of pull in whatever you want if you're that type of person that likes to do things like that. I love creating and adding and finding and, investigating, you know what I'm saying? Different curriculums, different workbooks and things like that. So that's fun for me. So it gives you the flexibility to add things in and take things out. For instance, my daughter has been working through the Julia Rothman book, and it is on farm, I think it's farm to table or something like that. And I purchased the download PDF for to go along with that. It's like a writing journal type thing that you answer questions, you draw pictures. Well, I'm finding that my daughter's not that interested, and it's kind of something just added in to kind of show her about farms and how food is grown and things like that, right? So I'm thinking that'll be kind of cool for her. Well, she's not that into it. I feel like it's a waste of time with the notebooking. If your kid is really into it, the notebooks that go along that you can purchase on the side for it, they are awesome. But if your kid isn't really enjoying what they're reading, then, with something extra like that, I don't see anything wrong with not making them do it. Now, math, if you have a reading book you want them to read, or language, things like that, core subjects, even science and stuff, there are things that your kids are going to have to do. You can change them up and manipulate the curriculum or the workbooks and stuff the way you want them, but they still have to learn it. With this is something added. It's something she really doesn't have to learn. I just thought it would be like a fun little thing for us to do together. So what I've done is I've taken away the notebook, and me and her, we're just gonna read 10 minutes for 3 days out of the week to get through the book, because I don't want to just be scratch the whole thing, oh, you don't like it, we're not gonna do it. Because then what signal is that showing to your kid? You could quit in the middle of things, and I don't ever want her to be a quitter if she doesn't like something, you know what I mean? Unless, there's a reason behind it. But if it's simply because she's bored reading it or not really interested in it, I still want her to finish it, to finish what we've started, right? So I am going to be reading that with her still, but I have that flexibility to be able to do that, to add it in and to take it out. So I really, really like that. Honestly, if you think about homeschool, you can add in whatever and take out whatever. Really, if you think about it. But I think just having like so many options included, other than like, I love Abeka, and I am totally not knocking Abeka for anything because I love them. My son is doing the full curriculum. My niece is almost doing the full curriculum. I love Abeka. But if you get Abeka and you're only one-minded into just doing Abeka and it's not working for one of your kids, or two of the subjects aren't working, don't feel stuck in that specific curriculum. Same thing with the Good and the Beautiful, or NOTGRASS is only really history, but any curriculum, Sunlight, I think all of those, like, don't feel so stuck. You don't have to be stuck. If it's working for 3 subjects and not for 2, change it. Nothing's wrong with it. You know what I mean? So that is the pro about being an eclectic homeschooling family, because you can change out those things and not feel the pressure of, oh my gosh, I have to do this whole curriculum. You know what I mean? Because it comes together. You don't have to. So for me, this style of homeschooling is perfect because I think it really has to do with preference also. And it has to kind of rely on you as the homeschooling parent, because it will take a little bit more from you to have an eclectic homeschool, because you have to research more. You have to put a little bit more time into like finding things elsewhere. It's not just you get one package and you have it all there. You kind of have to do a little bit of research. You have to watch videos. You have to look at websites. You have to read reviews, flip throughs, things like that. But for me, I like doing it. I enjoy it, so it's okay for me. But if you're a mom or a dad or grandma or aunt or whoever that's teaching that doesn't like all the extras, or you simply don't have time, or you don't want to take the time away from other things to do that, I would say eclectic is probably not for you because it's time consuming. I also love it because I create workbooks. I create my own unit studies. So I like being able to add in whatever I want, because I'll just create whatever I think I want us to do, which could also be bad, because then I'm like piling on the work because I want us to do these workbooks that I've created. So if you'd rather have less prep work, less time on the computer looking at different flip throughs and videos and reviews and things like that, I would say, again, eclectic's probably not for you. So the cons to eclectic homeschooling would be that it takes you more time to gather things, to get it together, to figure out your schedule, because usually if you get a boxed curriculum, everything's scheduled out for you. But with this way, you kind of have to piece together how you would like. Even if you get single subjects, like for instance, I have history through NOTGRASS. So that didn't come with anything else. And they do kind of give you a guide, like, here's your lesson for the day. I do use that. I just changed a little bit here and there. You know what I mean? Again, con would be more research. If you're not into that, if you don't want to spend the time, that's probably a con for you and not a pro. It's a pro for me. So it was on the pro side, but now it could also be on the con side. Another thing I wanted to mention is if you're new to homeschooling, you really won't know what type of style your kid is until you have some time. I mean, maybe you do know, maybe you've been working with them at home or seeing how the schools are teaching them or something like that and kind of picked up on it. But for the most part, it does take a little bit of time with your kids to figure out like, oh, they're not getting that. They're watching that documentary and they don't understand like what's happening. They don't know how to fill out the answers on the book, or they're not understanding that math concept by just writing it. Let's use manipulatives. Let's count with them with manipulatives. So it will take a little bit of time to figure it out, and then that will be really helpful with picking out your eclectic homeschool, right? Or your traditional homeschool, however you want to do it, your Charlotte Mason, okay? Another thing is, like I said, for me, it's a pro because I enjoy organizing and putting together and getting everything in order on how I want to schedule and how I want to bind my books. And I love doing stuff like that. So when I say that this is also on the con side, it can be. For those of you who don't want to spend the time organizing and, you know, doing your pro click and binding it, and, you know, it could be very time consuming and overwhelming for some of us. So that could definitely be on the con side as well. So another thing that could be a con is if you are new to homeschooling, it could be really overwhelming. Watching everything on YouTube, seeing everything online, it could certainly be overwhelming. So don't let it overwhelm you. I want to say don't overthink it, okay? If you're getting pulled in a direction that you want to do it. The only way you're going to learn your kids' learning style is by teaching them. You know what I mean? It's trial and error, and I have had many errors, you know what I mean? But also it's a learning experience, and you'll find that you will learn in time, and you'll be able to figure out how your kiddos work well while learning. So I would say try not to get overwhelmed, because that could be definitely a con, especially if you're jumping into homeschooling and you're trying to be an eclectic homeschooler and trying to figure out, because I know when I started, I was like, oh my gosh, what do we even need? How much of this, how much of that, how many days, what am I supposed to do? What classes, what subjects? Like, it was so overwhelming. So again, us doing a Becca, it was like, oh, she's gonna be in first grade. There's the curriculum, all in a stack, came in a box, all together. Teacher keys, student books, consumables, art stuff, like literally everything. And my biggest decisions were video or parent-led, and accredited and unaccredited. Those were the biggest decisions I had to make, because everything literally came in a box. So if you have to go down that road with something, that's okay. Then you have to go down that road, but you'll figure it out. Everything will come to you. But that could be definitely a con, because you could be totally worried about, oh my gosh, what am I gonna need for this eclectic homeschool? You know what I mean? Because you're pulling from everywhere. So just know that it may take a little bit of time. But that's it. That's why we eclectic homeschool. That's why I really love it. I'm so happy with it. I am happy that I switched. It's less stress for me and for the kids, and you could change things up if you want to. So I really enjoy it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys just enjoyed hanging out with me. Don't forget to leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you guys are new to homeschooling, if you've been around, and what type of homeschooling family you are. All right, you guys, be safe, be blessed, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love? What if your sweetness could reach everyone? There'd be no wars,